All right, guys. So for today, we're looking at how people get paid differently than just a per hour pay, because that's not how everyone gets paid. So we're going to look at percent commission, piecework pay, and then look at some advantages and disadvantages of both of those. So what jobs do you think of that were paid on commission? Yeah. Say that again. Artists. Yes, artists are very much paid on commission. Yeah. Car salesmen. That's why I hate dealing with them, right? Anybody ever go to ABC Warehouse? They're paid on commission there. You hate them? All right. So it's paid based on production, not your hours worked per se. So stockbrokers, travel agents, authors, musicians, realtors, and salespeople are example of people paid this way. Okay, so anytime you're thinking about, we'll do a whole chapter on the stock market, but like when stocks, they make money off of buying and selling your stocks. That's how they make their money. Okay, travel agents make money off of you booking with them. A lot of hotels and resorts then will give them a kickback for every person they get to book with them. Okay, authors get paid, usually on like how many books are sold, things like that. All right, so commission or royalty. Again, your notes, write down whatever makes sense to you guys, okay? It's usually a percentage paid on sales made. The more sales you make, the more money you make. A salary may be earned on top of commission. Okay, no, my brother used to sell lawnmowers. He worked at a place where they used to fix lawnmowers and like jet skis and ATVs and all that stuff. But he got a percentage off of every single tractor that he sold. But he also got paid, like an hourly rate as well. So even if he didn't sell anything, he still made money, because that would be awful to work a job that if you don't sell, you don't make anything. But for him, like, he made an hourly rate and a commission on top of that. So those are the nice ones to have. I think about a waitress a lot of times when I think about stuff like this. Like, I know I was a waitress when I was in high school. I think I made like $2.17 an hour or something like that. But then I got to keep all of my tips. So, I still averaged well over $10 an hour by the time it was done, but my paychecks were like teeny tiny. $2.17 an hour. What? 2000, 99, 2000. Yeah. I said, is anybody a waitress? $4. It hasn't gone up that much. Yeah. Some places make you like claim your tips, and then they take a percentage or taxes out of that or whatever. When I was a waitress, they were like, they're your tips, you earned them, don't tell me how much you made, just take them home with you. Like, they just didn't want to know. So. Yeah. All right. Piecework rate. Say rate paid to someone for each item they complete. Okay? So for every single thing that you make or do or whatever, they're going to pay you for each one of them. So they may earn an hourly wage in addition to that as well. Not as common today as it was in the past, but some jobs in farming, manufacturing, and journalism are still paid this way. I always think of the movie Spider-Man when he's going to the, what's that? Daily Bugle, thank you. Right, and they're paying him for every picture that they use that he took. Right, that's kind of like a piecework rate. Every one that they did, they paid him for. I haven't seen the newest Spider-Man yet. Is it good? Anybody seen it? I like the one that's like a cartoonish one. Spider-Verse, yeah. That was good. I like that one. You didn't like that? Oh, I liked it. Wow. It got dark in here real fast, didn't it? What about manufacturing? What kind of job in manufacturing would be piecework? They would pay you for every item. Maybe making parts, maybe putting things together. I think about that. My husband used to work at Sauter Woodworking when he was in college, and he would get paid for every demo setup of the furniture that he put together. So he got really efficient putting those together. What? A bladesmith? Oh, I don't. Is that how they get paid? I don't know. I don't know anybody who's a bladesmith. I don't know. Yeah, I honestly don't know anybody who is one. It's a good question. I have no idea. Making you guys write a lot today. All right, so example 1. Adriana wrote a textbook for high school students. She receives a 10% royalty based on the total sales of the books. The book sells for $47.95 and 17,000 copies were sold last year. How much did Adriana receive in royalty payments for last year? All right, so she makes 10% on the total sales. What's the first thing I need to find? The total sales. So if she sold 17,000 books, right, 17,000 copies, and they sold for $47.95 a piece, $47.95, yeah. So 815,150. Is that how much she made? No, she only makes what percent of that? So how do you multiply by 10%? 0.1 or 0.10? Those of you who like to see that 10 in there. So multiply that by 10%. Remember, changing a percentage to a decimal, you divide by 100 or move the decimal point 2 spots. All right, so multiply that by 0.10. So how much money did she actually make? That's still not too shabby. Wrote the book once, and every time it sells, she makes money, right? So she made $81,000 just for writing the book, and it's just selling. But don't just ignore that part, right? She still made good money, right? It's kind of like I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Teachers Use Teacher Pay Teacher. It's a website. I have my own store on Teacher Pay Teacher. So like, I put things on there for sale, things that I've created, I've made, whatever. And I may have put them on there 3 years ago, but when they still sell today, I still make money off of them. So every month I get an email and it tells me how much I sold for the month and how much money I just put in my account for me. So I haven't touched it in probably a year. I've just been busy, haven't put anything else on there, but I still make money every month off of it, which is nice. All right. Example 2. Allison sells cosmetics part-time door-to-door. She is paid a monthly commission. She receives 11% of her first $900 in sales and 17% of the balance of her sales. Last month, she sold $1,250 worth of cosmetics. How much commission did she earn? Yeah. So the biggest thing that people struggle with here is they don't understand what the balance of her sales means. So if she makes 11% for the first $900, what would this balance mean? What does that imply? What? Why 350? Yeah. So 11% of the first 900, and then 17% of anything after that is pretty much what it's saying. Right? So 11%, that would be 0.11. Multiply that by 900, right? Because she gets 11% of anything up to $900. Plus, if you look, I try to like kind of break this down formula down here for you. Percent times the first sales, right? The first 900, plus a percent. Told you it was 17, so 0.17 times the total sales minus the first sales. Well, her total was $1,250 minus the first sale, which was 900, and that should equal what the commission is. Now, the main reason I wrote it down kind of like formula-wise, I know that helps a lot of you, because you know what's coming in the future, right? Algebra is coming in the future. In the future, I'm going to tell you how much commission she made, and I'm going to ask you how many sales she made. We're going to work that backwards in a little bit. But the formula, I think, helps you kind of like get all that organized in your head so you can kind of work that backwards. Now, do I need to actually do any algebra on this one? No, I can just literally type this in my calculator. So 0.11 times 900 plus 0.17 times 1250 minus 900. So she made $158.50. That's how much she made for a month. Is that a full-time job? I hope not. She's living in a really shabby cardboard box. All right, let's hope that's just maybe she's a working person and she just kind of does this on the side for fun. You know, people who sell like Tupperware or Mary Kay or Lip Sense or all those other crazy things people sell. Yeah. Door to door though can also mean that she does like those parties. A lot of people have those in-home parties, have all their friends over, kind of thing. That's considered a door-to-door salesman. All right, example 3. Kate works in a dress factory that makes dresses for designer boutiques. She's paid a piecework rate of $85 per unit or per piece produced. Yesterday she made 3 dresses. How much did she earn? Is this a hard one? She's paid $85 per unit. And how many did she make? She made 3. Don't make these harder than they have to be, guys. She made $255. So I'm betting those dresses are expensive. She's making $85, just her for making them. They're going to be expensive dresses. But just think, she made $255 in one day. The makeup salesperson made $150 some in a month. Start making dresses. Okay, example 4. Tony picks strawberries and gets paid at a piecework rate of 45 cents per container for the first 200 containers picked. He receives 65 cents for each container, per container for every container over 200 that he picks. Last week, Tony picked 270 containers. How much did he earn? So how much does he get paid for the first 200? 45 cents. How do I write down 45 cents? 0.45 times 200 plus Paul, what you doing? Paul, how many over 200 did he pick? How many? I didn't hear you. 70? Good. And he gets 65 cents, right? So 0.65 times 70. Because altogether it was 270 containers. So much for the first 200. So much for how many over. So he had 70 more than the 200. So 0.45 times 200 plus 0.65 times 70. So 135.50. Typically with strawberries, they're quarts. So just like a little basket, usually like that. So this was in a week. So we're going to hope that Tony actually gets paid an hourly rate as well. That's not much money for a week. But again, if he only worked, very little hours, it's maybe not terrible. You guys ever go strawberry picking? You can fill a container really fast picking strawberries. Wait, what? Oh, I am sorry. Strawberries are delicious. All right, example 5. Glassman Chevrolet pays commission to its car salespeople. You guys had already mentioned a car salesman, right, boys? Hi, I didn't want to talk over you because it's rude. All right, so car salespeople, they're paid a percent of the profit that the dealership makes on the car, not the selling price. So that's probably why they're always trying to get you to pay a little more, right? Because they get a percentage a lot of times on the profit the dealership makes. So if the profit is under $750, they get 20%. If the profit is at least $750 and less than or equal to 1,000, then they get 22%. And if the profit is above 1,000, they get 25%. So you guys kind of see, like, there's a lot of numbers and stuff going on there, but they have like 3 tiers is what you're looking at, right? If it's here, they get 20%. If it's between this next part, it's 22. Then if it's higher profit, they get 25%. So it's kind of a 3-tiered thing. So you need to look at where does it fall within those 3 tiers. So part A, if the profit is $695, what percent would they get? Right, so $695 is under $750, right? So they get 20%. Is this question asking me to find how much they make? No, it just asked me what percent would they get. All right, if the commission, what is the commission on a car sold for a $1,200 profit? So what percent do they get? 25. Is this one asking me to find it? What is the commission? Yeah, it's actually asking for it. All right, so we just have to multiply 0.25 times the 1,200. And what do we get? It's $300. Off of one car? Oh, not bad. I could never be a salesperson. I really couldn't. Ugh, I couldn't be. They always seem sleazy, don't they? Sometimes they're very rude. They make you feel like guilty. All right, so as promised, the algebra is coming back. Yay! Who doesn't love algebra? All right, example, you're not supposed to answer that question. Example 6. Joyce works at Fortunato's Furniture. It's a weird name. She's paid on commission. She receives 10% of her first $900 in sales and 15% of the balance. So 15% of anything over 900, right? Last week she earned $750. So that's not her sales. That's her commission, right? So last week she earned $750. That means her commission is $750. What was the total value of the furniture sold? In other words, how much did she actually sell? So the trickiest thing for students is not necessarily the algebra, because I think you can plug things in. It's recognizing, though, do they give me everything I need, and I just need to like type it in my calculator and be good, or are they giving me the commission? I have to find the sales. You have to read very carefully. All right, so what percent does she get on the first sales? 10%, right? She gets 10% of her first sales, so 0.10 of how much of the first sales? 900. Plus, what percent does she get on the next part? 0.15. Do I know the total sales? No, that's my x. I have no idea. That's what I'm solving. What was the total value? So I don't know what my sales were. Minus, what was the first sales? 900. It's always that number here. You guys recognize that, I hope. Equals, do we know the commission? They told me that was 750. All right, we're going to go back to your algebra skills. Questions, though, on setting it up, where I kind of pulled those numbers from, how I knew to plug them in that way. All right, so first thing, let's kind of just work our way across it. What is 0.10 times 900? That is 90. And then what are we going to have to do with this? Distribute. So we're going to plus 0.15x. Distribute there. What is 0.15 times 900? So minus 135 equals 750. Okay, you have some different options here. I heard somebody say add 135. You absolutely could do that. Me personally, as an algebra teacher, I like to collect my like terms first. You don't have to. You can do it in 2 separate steps. Totally up to you. But 90 minus 135 is negative 45 plus 0.15x equals 750. Then I'm going to add the 45. 0.15x equals 795. Divide by 0.15. So 795 divided by 0.15. And I get $5,300. So what did I find, though? Total sales. She sold $5,300 worth of furniture, which then earned her a $750 commission. Which, you know, depending on the furniture, that's not hard to do, right? We just bought a new couch recently, and our couch cost $2,000 just for the couch. Yeah, so, I mean, you could easily earn that pretty quick. Yeah, nice furniture is expensive. Yeah, it's going to be our next purchase. Once the couch is paid off, then we're going to buy the refrigerator. Why do I need to take a picture with my refrigerator? Yeah, I've seen that. Let's be honest, though. That touchscreen just tells me that's more things that could go wrong with a refrigerator. You know what I mean? Like, that's just things that are going to go wrong. Oh my God. That's funny. That is funny. Can't unplug the fridge. All right, guys. Example 7, go ahead and try this one on your own. All right, guys. All right, so Lauren's a salesperson at Tireman, paid monthly commission. She receives 6% of the first 1,000, and then 11% of the balance. So anything over that. Today she earned 203. So what is the 203? What is this? That is your commission. Again, guys, I think so many of you expect everything to be kind of spoon-fed to you, like you've had that your whole life. Now, there's some things, obviously, I'm going to try to break down and help you out, but you have to be able to read between the lines. It's not always going to say her commission was 203, right? You have to recognize she earned 203. Well, that means she earned her commission, okay? All right, so we take our percent, which was 6%, which is 0.06. Double check, some of you had 0.6 there. And then it's times her first sales, which is said the first 1,000. Then it's plus the next percent, which was 11%, so 0.11. Total sales, which is the part I don't know, minus the first sales, which is 1,000. That should equal 203. Now, walking around, some of you try to set it up, you try to solve, and you get an answer of like, I saw $28. If I sold $28 worth of tires, am I going to make $203 in commission? No. Okay, somebody else had like $300. Stop and think. If I sell $300 worth of tires, do I make $203? Do I make over 75% of that sale price? No. No, no, no. So guys, stop and think. Does your answer make sense? You could have set it up right, we just solved it wrong. All right, so multiplying 0.06 times 1,000, that's 60, plus, we're going to have to distribute here, so 0.11x minus, that's 110, thank you, equals 203. Double check, guys. If your answer is not right, check every single step, okay, because I'm showing you everything. I went ahead and collect my like terms. What's 60 minus 110? Negative 50. Oops. Plus 0.11x equals 203. Then we're going to add 50. So 0.11x equals 253. And divide by 0.11. So $2,300. Does it make more sense that she would make $203 commission off of that price of sales? Yeah, that makes a little more sense. All right, and you add it. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. All right, so just make sure, guys, when you're done with something, could you work this backwards to make sure your answer worked? Yeah, just plug it back in the formula and solve for the commission, see if it works out or not. Okay? All right, questions on all of this stuff? All right, go ahead and grab a Chromebook and go to Kahoot.